YouTube? Colossal Tugboat here with another Madden 21 franchise rebuild, part 2 of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Very excited to see where this one goes. We are in year 2. This episode will be year 2, year 3. Very interested to see if this is going to be a quick rebuild, as in like we're ready to even remotely compete this year, or if we need another year. Hopefully no more than one more year to build up our pieces and get this roster back to a doable roster. I kind of like our chances to turn it around this year. Are we going to make a deep run in the playoffs? Probably not, but we got a good quarterback in the draft. We got still our good pieces all around, so it'd be interesting to see. We'll see how it goes and see how we approach the rest of the rebuild. So we are here at the beginning of season number 2. We'll go ahead and set our decision. Again, I think that this team should be able to pull off 7 wins. I'm not going to shoot much higher than that because I don't know how this is going to sim out. We'll stick with 7 wins. I think that's very doable. The other teams in our division probably took a step back coming off of the first year. Like the Colts probably didn't re-sign Phillip Rivers, or he retired. Other people like that, I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to take a look. Miles Jack right there. After that upgrade, got a new ability for his superstar development, so that should be pretty good. The team is an 81 overall, 83 offense, 79 defense. Offense should definitely be better than it was last year as far as rating-wise. Defense should be better, not much. So we got the quarterback situation shored up. The offensive line's not terrible. It could be a lot worse, and it could be a lot better. So I think that should be our focus of the draft going forward. Offensive line, defense as a whole, and rebound quite nicely from that. We will go ahead and sim to the midseason mark, see how things are going, see if we need to make any trades. I know I don't really make too many trades except for maybe like draft picks or something. See if we can spice it up if we need to. If we don't need to do anything, I ain't going to mess with it. We'll see how it goes. So let's get to midseason, see how it looks. So I accidentally simmed past the trade deadline, so there's not going to be any trades this year. That's fine. I really wasn't anticipating doing any trades. Contracts that we have up this year, we have DJ Chark, 85 overall. He's the only star dev, but with an actual quarterback thrown to him. We'll check his stats and see, but he should have pretty good stats as that number 1 receiver with those kind of statistics, with the 94 speed, 95 acceleration, 92 catching. Tyler Eifert, we don't need to bring back. Normal dev, 30 years old. We got Josh Oliver there that's much younger, faster. Also normal dev, but maybe we can bump that up, or we can even look in the draft or free agency. There's going to be plenty of options. Taven Bryant is still pretty young, 77 overall. We could look at bringing him back. He doesn't want a ton, but again, we do draft defensive tackles very well. We'll just have to take a look again, make sure that the stats, the production we're getting matches up to something we would be willing to pay. For the rest of this rebuild, we really shouldn't be strung up by cap, whatever you want to call it. Like, we're not paying a big quarterback the entire rebuild. So we don't really need to worry about that. However, there's still a lot that this roster needs, so we don't want to blow it all on the talent that's not too great right now. Besides that, Jared Wilson will be moving off of. Leon Jacobs I would like to bring back in case. We'll see how Peter Irons, the linebacker that we drafted, see if he's producing. Otherwise, if he's not, we're going to stick Leon Jacobs back in there because he had a pretty good first year last season. But outside of those few people, really only 2, maybe 3 if we bring back Taven Bryant. We're not going to be looking to bring back anybody. And we still have $57 million almost left. I'm almost positive we're going to offer DJ Chark a contract no matter what, but I will go ahead and check the stats first. Check out our quarterback, Connor Richards. He's got good accuracy. I mean, deep needs some work, but that'll take no time. Oh shit, that's a little X Factor logo up there. He's an X Factor? Holy shit. I mean, I was hoping for that. Drafting him number 1 overall. I think that's one of the first times we've actually gotten the top player in the class that had X Factor, and especially was a quarterback. Dude's been balling out. That's awesome. That's really awesome. We're going to throw it on strong arm. 91 throw power is decent. I want to see more, though. With that, he did unlock another ability slot. He got red zone Deadeye. That's a good-looking quarterback right there. Now let's go check out some stats, see how everybody is looking. So our quarterback is 4th in passing yards. Connor Richards, 2,100 yards. 14 touchdowns, 9 picks, not very good on the picks. But outside of that, not much you can really complain about. Alvin Kamara, who we brought over, 610 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. at the halfway point. Not bad. Connor Richards, 23 rushes for 90 yards, no touchdowns. DJ Chark leading the team in catches and yards. 39 catches, 532 yards, only 1 touchdown. Dede Westbrook with 0 touchdowns, but Laviska Shenault with 5. For the purpose of developing this not rookie anymore, but very young player, I'll take it. I mean, I would rather see Dede. I'd like to see Dede Westbrook. He's getting a good amount of catches, but touchdowns for sure. But for the purpose of developing Laviska Shenault, I will take it. Josh Oliver's hanging in there, 31 catches, 333 yards, 1 touchdown. Really spreading the love on the offense there with the touchdowns. Cam Robinson giving up a bunch of sacks, no surprise. Miles Jack leading the team in tackles, also no surprise there. Joe Schobert and Chidobe Awuzie right behind him with 51 tackles. TFLs, Josh Allen and Taven Bryant are tied for the lead at 8. And sacks, Josh Allen has the lead with 6. And our rookie, Elliott Poole, has 5. Caleb Chason has 4, so that is pretty decent production out of our defensive line right there at the halfway point. We have forced 5 interceptions rather. Taven Bryant, Miles Jack, Chidobe Awuzie, CJ Henderson, and Chris Cleary all with 1. Very interesting. We are 6th in offensive yards, and on defense we are 28th. Defense not really stepping up to the plate, but they aren't doing bad by any means, I don't think. We are 3-5. We are 3rd place in the division. I think we had 3 or 4 wins last year, so we've already tied that or surpassed it. So that's not bad. I wasn't really expecting to win a ton this year. As long as we show improvement, that's all I'm looking for. Look at the team really fast. We got our dev trait with our quarterback, and if I remember right, our strong safety we drafted had hidden development too. I know we drafted like 2 or 3 of them. The one that we chose to stick with should have a dev trait. There's Connor Richards, our X Factor, up to an 80 overall. The rest of the team looking pretty solid. Offensive line, our younger guys are actually starting to develop. They didn't go up too much last year, even though the sliders were on. So this year they're doing pretty well. Josh Oliver not progressing as fast as I would like to see. So we'll take a look back at that, see how he does the rest of the year. Defensively, a lot of gold. Oh my god, our safety was a superstar also. We drafted very well for the dev traits. So I guess that's what you get whenever you suck. That's what you should get. I mean, Madden doesn't always like giving you what you should get, but we seem to have hit the jackpot in this rebuild right here. Defensive line, still a lot of normal, but we do have Josh Allen, who already was superstar, but nice to see. I'm going to move up Ziegler. I don't know why he's not starting on the side of Taven Bryant rather than Devon Hamilton. So we have Caleb Chason, Josh Allen, 2 superstar corners. We locked up Awuzie in the free agency period. And we have Henderson, which I'm recording this on Tuesday after the first week of the NFL. And Jaguars obviously played the Colts, beat the Colts, but CJ Henderson looked like an absolute stud. They got every bit of that draft pick right, if it's worth anything. So Jaguars fans, I would be happy if that was my first overall pick, because that dude balled out the other day. So just little side note, stung a little bit because it was against my team, but the dude was beast. Linebackers looking pretty good. I don't know if we move up Leon Jacobs yet. That'll be an end of this season decision. I didn't see anything notable out of Peter Irons. I don't know how much he's even playing, probably not a ton. But if he goes up to a star on the little playing he does do, then I think we'll just go ahead and keep him and move on from Leon. But we'll see. So roster is looking pretty good. Very good, actually. I mean, I'm very happy with what we got going on here down in Jacksonville. Contracts, again, like I said, we're going to hit DJ Chark. We're going to give him the bag, what he wants. He's happy. We didn't have to really super overpay him by any means. We locked up an 85 overall receiver who's only 24. For the remainder of the rebuild, should be pretty good. Taven Bryant's actually been doing pretty well, so we're going to go ahead, not get carried away with it. We'll give him a 2-year deal. We will check back with him in year 4, see how it goes. Honestly, Leon Jacobs is really cheap. We got plenty of money. He wants a little bit more. As long as he doesn't price me out, I will bring him back. I am fine with that. Keeps us some good depth at linebacker. I just went ahead and advanced 1 week, I guess, through the bye week. Laviska Shenault right there actually with a breakout player, so that's nice to see. So he's going for a superstar dev. Will he get it? Probably not, knowing the way that this game works. But all he needs is 150 yards, rushing or receiving, and 3 touchdowns, rather. So is it possible? Yeah. Is it likely? No. I'm going to go ahead and offer Leon Jacobs another contract. We're going to go ahead and cut to the end of the season, see how things finish up, and I will catch you there. Finishing up year number 2, week 17, we got the 21-14 win over the Cardinals. However, we did not make the playoffs. Finished 7-9. I mean, we were right there, if that means anything. I know 3 games out of first or second place, but considering third place in the division was 8-8, and we were 1 game behind them, where we were last year, I'll take it. We're still going to have a pretty good draft pick this year. Still be able to add a good piece or two to the roster, get it even better, and we still got 3 more years to make a Super Bowl. And we have plenty of cap space too for right now. So very optimistic looking forward. Season-ending stats: Connor Richards, 4,200 yards, 29 touchdowns, 18 picks. Again, the picks are a lot more than I would like to see. Rushing-wise, the rushing game is just massive overhaul from last season. It's been a few days since I recorded part 1, but if I remember right, our leading rusher had like 400 or 500 yards. Huge difference. Definitely helped contribute to the overall team success for the roster, which is very nice to see. DJ Chark broke 1,000 yards, 83 catches, had 3 touchdowns. Very nice year. Josh Oliver with 76 grabs, 775 yards, 6 touchdowns. If we want to, we can risk it in the draft. I think we've got just a solid player. Dev trade's not going to matter too much. And then maybe whenever his contract's up, see what he's wanting versus what we're willing to pay for him. Laviska Shenault, 57 catches, 740 yards, 8 touchdowns, so led the team in touchdowns. Very good year for the second-year receiver. Dede Westbrook kind of rebounded, 68 grabs, 719 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Defensively, Miles Jack with 124 tackles, 8 TFLs, 2 sacks, and 1 pick. 1 good year out of him. Joe Schobert with 106 tackles. Not bad at all. TFLs, Josh Allen led the way with 14. Taven Bryant, 13. Ziegler, 11. Sacks, Josh Allen led the team with 10.5. I don't remember what he had last season. I think it was right around there, maybe a little bit less. So if we can get that up to the mid-teens, like 15, 16, or even if we can get like Chase Sons up to double digits too, and maybe Allen only has 13, I'll take that all day. That's good sack production. This isn't terrible, but I'd still like to see more. 6 from Chason and 5 from Elliott Poole. INTs, 3 INTs for CJ Henderson. So that is a good year. 72 tackles to go with that. Young talent in Jacksonville is balling out. Josh Allen, Taven Bryant, Miles Jack, bunch of these guys all with 1. Get to the awards. We were 11th in offensive yards and finished 9th in defense. So our defense rebounded pretty well. MVP goes to Deshaun Watson. We have Cam Newton behind him and Jameis Winston behind him. Ryan Tannehill, Patrick Mahomes is in there. The rest of those guys actually look like somewhat decent MVP candidates. In the AFC, Deshaun Watson won Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year went to Whitney Merciless. Offensive Rookie of the Year went deservedly to Connor Richards. Chris Cleary, who I believe was our superstar safety, made 4th on Defensive Rookie of the Year. Peter Irons, 7th. Best quarterback in the conference went to Jameis Winston. Connor Richards got 10th. Best running back, Alvin Kamara, 4th. Not bad. Nobody on wide receiver. Nobody on O-line. Josh Allen, 3rd on D-line. Nobody on linebacker. I guess if you look at it, though, those top 3 right there just get a ton of sacks. And Bud Dupree, of course. And best defensive back, we had nobody. 2nd best kicker in the conference. Won an award or 2. Finished top 10 in a couple different categories. But still quite a bit of work to be done for the Jacksonville Jaguars heading into year 3. Let's take a look, see who wins the Super Bowl this time around. The Buffalo Bills get beat by the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 55. Surprised that Buffalo already made that leap to Super Bowl contender in Madden, but not a bad team. Again, none of these guys will be coming back. If I want my punter to come back, I'll just go get him in free agency for a lot cheaper. Otherwise, we can just roll with whatever kicker punter we got. 2021 free agency period. Going into 2022, I don't know what that would actually be classified as. And we got some tasty options here. We can go for a complete shutdown defense and swoop up Jair Alexander to go with our already 2 superstar corners. Think that's a little bit of overkill if you ask me. We have linebacker options with Fred Warner and Leighton Vander Esch, who, me personally, I'd rather have Fred Warner. We could help the offensive line. Jawan Taylor, Mike McGlinchey would be a big upgrade over him. So I know I said it's a bit of overkill, but, you know, we're going to do what the Jacksonville Jaguars tried to do a few years ago, the last time they were any bit of relevant, and we're just going to build the shit out of the defense. We're going to lock up that third corner, and we're going to be a no-fly zone. Plain and simple. By doing so, we're going to have to hit on all of our draft picks, which is a bit scary. But if we can pull this off, I think it's going to be a deadly lethal cornerback combo right there with Jair and CJ Henderson guarding the boundaries, Awuzie playing inside. And then we get Fred Warner playing somewhere on the defensive linebacker positions. Shuffle them around somehow. I don't think we're going to get AJ Howard, but if we can upgrade on tight end, if we can pull this off, that'd be incredible. Phase 1 complete. Locked in our third cornerback, Jair Alexander. Let's just send it through again. Let's see what happens. Phase 2 complete. 5th-year options. Let's see. Josh Allen, we definitely want to keep him around. Put off paying him big for another year. That will help out our situation a little bit. Obviously, the 5th-year option is going to be some decent money as well, but a little bit better than paying him a full-fledged contract, because these next 3 years are going to be just absolute run as fast as you can to the Super Bowl. We'll see what's in the draft. Maybe we can draft someone who we might get lucky and has a dev trait, or we'll just stick with Josh Oliver. He's not been that bad. So now it is time, obviously, for the draft, but time to really start getting our shit together and getting some wins. So with the 8th overall pick in the first round, we decided to go ahead and go wide receiver. I'm just really not liking what I'm seeing out of D.D. Westbrook after we signed into that deal. So we might be moving on from him. We'll see. But we got Ryan Callaway here with 96 speed. He was the 2nd overall at the combine for wide receivers in the 40-yard dash. 96 speed is pretty good. That's higher than most people in this game. Looks to be a pretty freaky wide receiver here. Elected to do that for right now instead of pass rusher. We're going to see if we can maybe pull off a trade for D.D. Westbrook or something, or one of the other guys we can move off of. And if we pull something off, I'll let you know. We'll come back to it. So we sent a trade to the Buccaneers. Wanted to get a draft pick, but I kind of want Ali Marpet more. In the grand scheme of things, we're probably going to sit here for a minute and do a couple trades, which might kill our offense a little bit, but I think it'll be better in the long run. Anyways, the Buccaneers apparently wanted a wide receiver, even though they still have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and the rest of the gang. So they took D.D. Westbrook, and they wanted a quarterback to replace Tom Brady in a year or two whenever he retires. So they took Gardner Minshew as well for Ali Marpet. So Ali Marpet will be our new starter. Now again, Norwell and Linder were in contract years, so we should be able to move off of Norwell. I'd rather pay Marpet because he's 90 overall, so by the time he regresses, he'll get down to where Norwell is now. I think it'd be better. Kind of shop around for some draft picks, see what we can get, see if we can pull off anything crazy. And then we send over Andrew Norwell and cornerback Josiah Scott for the Raiders' first-round pick. Nobody else really had any money, or if they did, their first-round pick's already gone. Really wanted to get a first-round pick out of them. I know that's probably not the most realistic trade. Ooh. Okay. And just like that, Daniel Overstreet, hidden dev, 78 overall, the number 1 player in the draft. We got him at number 20 with that Raiders pick, so those moves may have paid off. Hidden dev, of course. Dude looks like a beast. So that's dope. And that will be the end of the 2022 NFL Draft for your Jaguars. So draft recap. With the first pick we had, we took 77 overall wide receiver Ryan Callaway. 21 years old, 96 speed, 91 acceleration, good catching, decent catch in traffic. Should be very good for us. Only normal dev. So after we picked up Ryan Callaway, we traded away D.D. Westbrook and Gardner Minshew to the Buccaneers for Ali Marpet straight up. Got a good left guard. We knew we were going to have to pay Norwell this coming year. I didn't really want to, so we shipped them two out, brought in Marpet, then shipped out Norwell and a backup corner to the Las Vegas Raiders for the 20th overall pick, and ended up with 78 overall hidden dev Daniel Overstreet playing right end. Dude looks like an absolute monster. Gonna immediately start. Very curious to see what that dev was, because he was the number 1 player in the draft. We got him at number 20. It just didn't stop there. Now, as far as devs, we didn't get any dev traits, but we got some great players. Again, falling after the guy who didn't go to the combine. Kind of bit me in the ass. He's not a bad player. We didn't need him because we got our linebackers set. Normal dev doesn't look terrible, but we got to stop going after those guys that didn't go to the combine. And then we picked up cornerback Carlos Cooks, 21 years old, 6'1", 72 overall. Solid stats. We don't need him to start for the rest of the rebuild. So just depth, and he can develop there, and that'd be fine with me. We took a stab on a center that was not scouted at all by us. Not terrible, but if we don't re-sign Brandon Linder, probably look to free agency first. He'll be a last resort option. We have someone there in case everything just goes wrong. Took defensive tackle Caleb Brown next, 72 overall, 21 years old, rookie. Great stats. Again, just going to be solid depth. I mean, we got a 72 overall in the 5th round. To me, that's the best I've drafted. 65 overall, again, a left guard who had good combine stats. I didn't have scouted at all. I'll take it. But yeah, probably one of the better drafts, if not the best draft I've had in all these rebuilds. So that is very fun. So we are an 86 overall. I think the offense is an 88. I didn't pay that much attention. I just got in here. Connor Richards up to an 83 overall, of course, is the X Factor. He was drafted as an X Factor, which I'm still kind of in shock about. Very nice. No backup depth behind him, so good thing injuries are off. Alvin Kamara leading the backfield. We can look to get a replacement running back behind him to help shoulder the load a little bit, especially like a power back. DJ Chark up to an 87 overall. Still surprised he's not a superstar. Had a couple good years so far. I guess we're only going into year 3, so there's still time, but I expected more dev trait out of that. Laviska Shenault up to an 81, still a star, only 23. Got good stats, 90 spectacular catch. Been a very good player for us. Can't go wrong with that. And then, of course, Callaway, who's going to be stepping in for the departed D.D. Westbrook, should be very nice with that 96 speed. Behind that is just depth. Offensive line, the only change is Ali Marpet. Exit Andrew Norwell. In the end, I think that the trade that started that all, or the draft pick, I guess, Callaway down there, really worked out for the best for us, getting the number 1 player in the draft. Josh Oliver's still our tight end. That is not going to change. So that's going to be the defensive line moving into the season. Overstreet, Bryan, Ziegler, and Allen. I'm hoping to see some good production out of our 2 defensive tackles. Obviously, our corner position is locked down. Never going to change unless we trade someone away. Jair, X Factor, 95 overall, needs no introduction. Awuzie, 87 overall superstar. And Henderson, 84 overall superstar. I mean, this secondary is absolutely stacked. Marcus Williams back there. Miles Jack got up to an X Factor after last season, 87 overall. We brought in Fred Warner. I could see him going to an X Factor. Joe Schobert's doing his thing, doing all right. We might actually move off of Joe Schobert. I don't know. If Joe Schobert's not really playing and I'm paying him a bunch of money to not really play, I'll just move off of him. And then we have Cleary here, who was our superstar rookie last year. Did pretty well for us. I don't remember exact stats necessarily, but did all right. Honestly, defense is set. Offense looks pretty damn good. Let's get into year 3. Let's get the playoffs. All right, so setting goal for year number 3. Year number 3. Getting ahead of myself. We're an 85 overall, 85 offense, 87 defense. Team's completely been facelifted since year 1. I mean, honestly, without looking at the other teams in our division, I don't think that there's any way we should miss the playoffs. And I could even see a decent run in the playoffs. But we're gonna set our goal. We're gonna progress slowly but surely. Getting to the playoffs first is the first task, so that will be our goal. If we make the playoffs, we've had a good year, we've turned it around, then we can really focus the last 2 years on Super Bowl mode. So let's get to the midseason. Try not to actually sim past the trade deadline this time and see how everything's going. All right, so coming out of the sim, landing on week 8, had bye week last week. We are 2-4. Apparently, my optimism was lost somewhere, somehow. Not sure. I mean, we've gone up 2 overall as the season's progressed. What's going on? We're still in contention for the division by all means. Colts are in first at 3-3. The other two are 3-4. So we're a game, maybe 2 games out. But what's going on here? Connor Richards, 1,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6 picks. Not a bad year so far. Kamara, no touchdowns, 411 yards rushing. Armstead has 2. Callaway leading the team with yards and 3 touchdowns. Passing game looks really good. Spreading the ball around, getting some good yards for all of our main targets, and a good amount of touchdowns already. Defense, Fred Warner leading the way, 49 tackles, 46 for Miles Jack. TFL's Chase on for not really getting to the quarterback, it looks like. So might swap out that defensive playbook. Wougier 2 picks, Jack 1, Henderson 1, and Cleary with 1. So let's change. We're 23rd in offensive yards, and we're 11th in defensive yards, so it doesn't look bad. I just want to get to the quarterback more. I changed the offensive playbook before the season started. I'm going to go back to New England. We had pretty good success with that. Indy's playbook is usually pretty good for 4-3s, but we'll switch to 49ers and see if that makes any difference. We need to check and see our contracts. Like I said, Linder is up for contract. Lambeau, Taylor, 3/5 of our offensive line is up for a new contract. Josh Oliver needs a new deal. Beyond that, there is not much. Linder, I would really like to bring back. Only 30. Still got some good years left in him. I want to re-sign Josh Oliver for sure. Dude's been nothing but solid for us. He wants more money. Jawan's been pretty good for us. He's back for 2 more years. Cam's back for 2 more years. So we got our offensive line locked up. We'll probably come back for Josh Oliver. See about trading Joe Schobert. See if we can maybe get something out of him. He's not really doing much for us. All right, so we decided to move off of Joe Schobert. Only 2 teams in the league have any kind of cap space. The Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. I didn't want to trade him into the AFC. Not that he's like the greatest linebacker of all time or anything, but he's a solid linebacker. But didn't want to trade him to the Texans. Could only trade him to the Browns at that point. They have the projected number 1 overall pick right now. And then this running back they got is a power back who looks pretty damn good. Should be a nice fit next to Alvin Kamara to complement, build up our offense a little bit more. And then we also moved off Taven Bryant. I mean, I know we just re-signed him, but he's just not doing anything for us. He's going up in overall, but he's not putting stats on paper. We're going to need more money to bring back Josh Allen and just get much better than where we're at. So I made that move right there. Gave up a 3rd round pick, but the potential 1st overall pick, they don't have a good quarterback, so it shouldn't change too much. And then a really good backup running back. I'll take that all day long. Let's get to the playoffs. And year number 3 was a failure. We did not make the playoffs somehow. Division winner was 8-8. We finished 7-9 for the 2nd straight year. Tied for 2nd place with the rest of our division. Ended up throwing for 4,200 yards, 36 touchdowns, 14 picks. Not bad. Alvin Kamara, 1,200 yards, 5 touchdowns. The running back we brought over, I don't know what his stats were before we brought him over. So I don't know if that's really reflective of what he did on our team, but he proved he can contribute, so that is good. Laviska Shenault almost had 100 catches. Very good. 933 yards, 5 touchdowns. Rookie Callaway almost had 1,000 yards with 8 touchdowns. Chark, 850 and 7. Josh Oliver caught 11 touchdowns. I got to re-sign this guy. I don't even care about the div trait anymore. Dude's been an absolute beast for us. Fred Warner, we brought over 140 tackles. Very, very nice. Miles Jack, 116. Very impressive from Fred Warner. That's why we brought him here, though. We expect that. 14 TFLs from Overstreet, our big rookie, and Ziegler. Our defensive tackle, Josh Allen, with 13 right behind him. Sacks, not very good. Again, 6 sacks, 5.5 for Overstreet, 4, 2.5. Not very good in the sack department. Looking to improve upon that next year, but we did force a ton of turnovers. Freddie Warner had 3. Miles Jack had 3. Chidobe Awuzie had 3. Cleary 2. Jair Alexander 2. CJ Henderson 1 INT. Ended up forcing 4 fumbles. 11th in offensive yards. Didn't make the playoffs, by the way. 22nd in defensive yards. And right on time, there's Nick Foles winning the MVP for the 13-3 Bears. Fun. Very fun. Coach of the year, Matt Nagy. AFC Offensive Player of the Year goes to Patrick Mahomes. We got 7th. Defensive Player of the Year, Von Miller. Fred Warner was 6th. Miles Jack, number 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year did go to the Browns quarterback, who ended up going 7-9. Callaway was number 2. Had a great year for us. The running back we picked up from the Browns got 6th. Happy to see that. Overstreet, whenever we checked the midseason, he still had his hidden dev, so I still don't know what it is. Hopefully, I'm really hoping for an X Factor. That'd be dope. Did win Rookie of the Year, so maybe if he only had Superstar, maybe that bumps it up. We haven't had good luck with that recently, but that'd be pretty nice. Caleb Brown down there at number 10. Defensive tackle, who started after we got rid of Taven Bryant. Connor Richards, number 4 on Best Quarterback. Kamara, number 4 on Best Running Back. No Best Wide Receiver, which no Best Offensive Lineman. No Best Defensive Lineman. Warner and Jack on the Best Linebacker. No Best DB. And 10th Best Kicker. The awards were not very friendly to us outside of our Defensive Rookie of the Year. Let's check on his development trait. Oh, it just feels so good whenever you draft a freaking X Factor. We've drafted 2 to this rebuild. Very nice X Factor development right there. Fearmonger, secure tackler, a force to be reckoned with for sure. I felt like we had a pretty good year outside of getting sacks, so I don't know what led to the lack of production or lack of success, but that's pretty disappointing. There we go. All right, he got a star dev, Josh Oliver. I'm going to give you your money. Thank you for being absolute beast of a tight end for us. Even happier to give you the money after seeing the dev trade on there. Team is looking good going into year 4. Seattle wins its 2nd Super Bowl in a row. Russell Wilson out there absolutely frying in Seattle. We made it to free agency. So all we're really going to go after in free agency is just kicker, punter. Offered Josh Lambo a contract. He accepted, cheaper than what he wanted. If you ever need a kicker punter, just let them go to free agency. You should be able to get them for much cheaper than they want to get. But other than that, dude, this team looks solid. We're really just going to focus on building through the draft at this point. We are down a 3rd round pick, of course, with that trade for the Browns, but we did pick up their 1st round pick. All right, so draft recap for going into the 4th year. Drafted really well last year and did not do anywhere near as well this year. First pick was a defensive tackle, 73 overall, and then a 73 overall right outside linebacker, fast. Right guard was ranked pretty high, 2nd round talent, 2nd round projected. We took him in the 2nd round, but nothing special. Took a defensive tackle again, 73 overall. Coming from the draft, there's a couple good players, but all in all, it was a pretty weak draft class. Really any of the draft classes I've done compared to the last one would be considered pretty weak. Not pulling 73 overalls in the 5th round. We will go ahead and get into the regular season for year number 4. We will stop there. Take this time, friendly reminder, if you haven't already, be sure to like the video. Leave in the comments, let me know how I did, let me know what I can do differently, things like that, different things you want to see going forward, whether it's different types of rebuilds, different things to do in the rebuilds, etc. I'm always down for new ideas. Be sure and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, let you know anytime I post a video. We put up our first non-Madden video since I came back to YouTube the other day, Among Us. It was really fun, played with people I didn't know, but in a Facebook group I'm in the other night. It was tons of fun, so I'd appreciate it if you check it out. Something different, pretty entertaining, some good clips in there. It was only part of the gameplay, so I can edit up another video here soon. I think I will. There's a few more good games in there. Be sure, of course, as always, follow the social media links down below. Help support me that way. And then, of course, Raise Rebellion. Get your Raise Energy. Use code Colossal Tugboat at checkout. If you have any questions about that, I can definitely help you out, point you in the right direction. Until next time, this has been part 2. Part 3 will come here soon once we get it all edited up, and that will be covering year 4 and 5. So I will see you then. Peace.